Do you wish you could write the kind of killer marketing copy that makes the right people say, "Shut up and take my money"? Well, stay tuned because in today's video, I'm going to share the simple copywriting skills that you need to master to boost your sales and your bank account. Hey, my name is Melinda Kitto, and if you are looking for marketing and messaging tips to help you stand out online and sell your offers with ease, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I upload a new video every single week. In order to start honing your copywriting skills, let's start by identifying some of the most common copywriting mistakes that you might not even realize you're making. Have you ever found yourself sitting in a meeting room or maybe a lecture hall, and up the front, standing very professionally behind the lectern, is a man in a suit and tie? They usually have one of those annoying red pointer things, gesturing boringly at his PowerPoint slides and speaking in an incredibly monotone voice. And you're sitting there as an audience member, like straining to concentrate, straining to comprehend what it is that this guy is droning on about. Sometimes just straining to stay awake. Now, maybe they're presenting on a really complex topic, and maybe they just really lack good presentation skills, but ultimately, one of the reasons why that kind of communication doesn't connect is because it's being presented in a quote-unquote professional way. And if you've grown up going through traditional school or university, or if you've spent any kind of time in that corporate environment, you would be very familiar with that professional type of language. So it's only natural to try and bring that same approach to your copywriting. But we've already established that that type of communication really doesn't connect. And when you are trying to write in that totally professional way, your writing can really come across as stiff and robotic. So mistake number one is really getting stuck in that overly professional, aka boring, language style. And aside from being kind of boring, the reason why that type of language doesn't connect when it comes to copy is because it immediately creates separation. You become that person who is standing professionally behind the lectern, and your audience is over there, expected to kind of sit pretty passively. So instead of writing as though you are standing behind that lectern, I want you to imagine yourself at your favorite cafe, sitting across from this incredible person who just happens to be your ideal client. And then simply write like you would talk to them. You know, like a human. I want to give you an example of both of those styles so that you can really see the difference. We need to create a synergistic relationship whereby there is mutual benefit for all parties. Versus, we need to find a way to make this work for everyone. I mean, there's a clear winner there, right? This second example not only sounds far more natural, far more conversational, but it also makes it so much easier to understand what you're actually trying to say. When in doubt, try reading your copy out loud. If there's any sections in there that kind of feel really awkward or clunky when you say it, that's probably a good indicator that you need to rephrase that section and try to find a more natural way of getting your point across. Now, before we move on here, I just want to point out that even though I'm suggesting you don't use overly professional language, that doesn't mean that we need to swing the pendulum too far in the opposite direction. I don't want you to open your sales pages by saying, "Yo, what's up?" Just write like you talk, okay? Mistake number two is being really vague or ambiguous in your copy. One of the goals that you should have when you're writing your copy is to try to help your audience to find a reflection of themselves in your words. We want them to be saying, "Hey, that sounds like me," because that's what actually gets them interested and wanting to read more. And if you're being really vague in your language, it just makes it harder for me to find myself. Instead of having them say, "Oh my gosh, that totally sounds like me," you have them saying, maybe. Which one do you think sells better? And the way to do that is to use really tangible and specific examples, both of what my life looks like right now and what I wish my life could look like instead. And the more specific and tangible you are with those examples, the easier it is for that person to say, "Oh my God, it's like you're inside my head." Let me show you an example of how this works. A vague statement would be something like, "I help women to step into their power." I mean, sure, stepping into my power sounds pretty good, right? But what does that actually even mean? How do I know that that is the answer that I've been looking for? Now let's compare that to a far more specific and tangible example instead. I work with driven career women who are tired of getting overlooked for promotions and want to be able to pitch their business ideas to their boss in a more powerful and confident way. Can you see how that more specific example just makes it so much easier for the audience member to see a reflection of themselves in your copy, to help them to realize, "Oh my God, that sounds like exactly what I need." Now, yes, being more specific does mean that your copy is going to appeal far more directly to this type of person, and maybe it won't appeal so much to this type of person. But that's what you actually want. When you give me those kind of vague or ambiguous statements, it just ends up sounding really meh, and meh fades into the background. When you say something that allows people to say, yes, that's me, or no, it's not, it at least gets heard above the noise. Your copy and your messaging really starts to pack a punch when you can join the secret conversation that your ideal clients are having up here in their head. And if you need some help figuring out what that conversation might look like, you can check out this video right here where I teach you how to build an ideal client profile that really digs into what's going on in there. And you can check out this video right here where I teach you how to clarify your message so that you can actually speak to those people far more effectively. Mistake number 3 that a lot of people make when it comes to writing copy is waffling. A lot of us have this tendency to use way too many words in our copy. And just like when you're at a family barbecue and Uncle Bernie traps you in the corner to tell you all of the reasons why he's had to go to the doctor recently, when there's way too many words coming at us, our minds tend to wander. So when you're editing your copy, I want you to look for redundant or unnecessary words and cut them. Those excess words really slow your writing down. And when your writing slows down, that's when our minds tend to wander. So I want you to ask yourself, is there a way that you could say what you're trying to say with less words? Let me give you an example of this in action. It was almost like she was trying to tell me that something was wrong. Versus, I could tell something was wrong. That second statement isn't just shorter, but it's also far more direct, which makes it sound a whole lot stronger. Using too many words can make your copy take on a bit of a passive kind of feeling, almost as if you're hoping people will agree with you. Whereas being more direct creates far more certainty. Now, I have a little bonus tip for you here. Whitespace is your friend. When you're writing copy, your sentences should be shorter, and so should your paragraphs. When we're on our screens or devices, long paragraphs just end up looking like big walls of text. They're really hard to read, and often even just the look of them makes us go, meh, too hard, click away. So break those long paragraphs up. Use more white space, hit enter, and keep your paragraphs to 1 to 2 sentences, maybe 3 at the absolute max. And as much as possible, turn your commas into full stops. When we use really long run-on sentences with lots of commas in them, again, that's when our minds really start to wander. Shorter sentences add punch, they add impact, and they really help to keep the momentum of your copy going. Now, I do have one more tip for you, but before we get to that, the tips that I've been sharing in this video are really focused on how to make sure that your copy is really clear and packs a punch. But I also want to make sure that you know how to actually structure your copy so that it grabs the attention of the right people, keeps them engaged, and most importantly, compels them to take action. So if you want to learn how to do that, I want you to check out this video right here where I teach you exactly how to craft a social media post that sells your offer. And I want to know, have you found yourself making any of the mistakes I've mentioned in this video? Let me know in the comments. My final tip for you is to add some spice and personality to your copy by using story. Story is an amazing way to connect with your audience because it captures their attention and their imagination. Plus, it's an amazing way to really build that know, like, and trust factor as your audience gets to learn more about you, and particularly if they can see elements of themselves reflected in your story. So if you want to learn how to use storytelling to really build that rapid connection with your audience and give your copy a massive boost of personality, make sure that you stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to dig into exactly that. Just hit that bell and you'll be notified as soon as that video goes live. In the meantime though, if you want more marketing and messaging tips to help you stand out online and sell your offers with ease, make sure that you check out either of these videos right here, and you can also click right here to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Subscribe. Concentrate. That's a new word. Oh my gosh, cut that. That was rubbish.